I could have been stopped doing this shit. Only reason I do this shit cause the real niggas asked me to. A fake nigga couldn't relate to me. Top gunners, check me out. Only us, check me out. Strap her with a kilo, check me out. Put her on the bus, check me out. Stand up nigga, check me out. Always 100, check me out. You can bring the work back, check me out. If you don't want it, check me out. See mama love me, that's my baby, but papa left me. Yeah, he left me. I put a bitch on timeout if she upset me. That's a fact. Fuck with me, you won't regret me. Still on the mind of every hoe trying to forget me. I get them things across the border. Your man on trial, but you won't go get him a lawyer. What's up with that? You poppin' bottles, you getting fly, but you don't send commissary to niggas that's inside. See, we don't coincide, we don't live by the same rules. And we done got hungry, these lanes became full. Real niggas in my corner, you know that I can't lose. And I can't go to jail for a body they can't prove. Got niggas in the feds, they never coming home. Can't never see they daughter, only talking through a phone. And you know we screaming free you forever. Treat your kids like they mine. Wait your turn, real nigga. You get rich in due time. I feel like Nino when he first opened the Carter. Check me out. I feel like Tony when him and Sosa became partners. Check me out. Bring me out crab legs and grilled shrimp for starters. Filet mignon for my main meal. I'm a mobster. Ruger rap. Top gunners, check me out. Only us, check me out. Strap her with a kilo, check me out. Put her on the bus, check me out. Stand up nigga, check me out. Always 100, check me out. You can bring the work back, check me out. If you don't want it, check me out.
Well, happy Monday. How's everybody doing today on this new week? Hope everybody's day started well. It's going well. I know most people day is still going at this time, 3 o'clock. I started a little early because I think we're gonna be in here for a while today. I want to say we're gonna be in here for about 2 hours today. But I don't know. We'll see. But I will say this. We're gonna finish this week. We're gonna wrap this Karmelo Anthony situation up this week. And but we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to unpack. And before this week is out, I'm probably gonna be done because this part 2 probably gonna be done probably about part 3, 4. I don't know. But I will say this, because you know we do live streams every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tuesday and Thursday, we do the BodyCam breakdown, you feel me? But we're going to break this down. And if you somebody who on the fence, you coming over here. You somebody on the other side that just stuck on stupid, I mean, I don't know if I can sway you because, you know, in life, I learned a few things, bro. In these 38 years, I learned a lot. You know, if you got a gambling addiction, you can go to Gamblers Anonymous. If you got a narcotics issue, you can go to Narcotics Anonymous. You got a drinking problem, you can go to Alcoholics Anonymous. But there's no anonymous for stupidity. And some people just choose to be stupid. They were raised by stupid people, and I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just being real. And I'm gonna get into all that while I'm saying that in this video. And so again, some people gonna stay on the stupid side. There's just no helping them. But again, the case that I'm gonna lay out this week, with the help of several people that I'm gonna use in my exhibits, we're gonna let you know, we're gonna let the whole world, we're gonna get everything understood on why Mr. Karmelo went through it, because over the weekend more facts came out. His parents, Lord, have mercy on him. But anyway, have mercy on the other children. When you got a parent like that, it can be very dangerous and detrimental to your upbringing and the decisions that you make in your life as a young adult and ultimately an adult. But I digress on that. What I'm saying is, after this week, man, we're gonna get it rectified that Mr. Anthony, in my personal opinion, may have been over sentenced. due to the fact that he was 17, and we've all been 17 before. And it's things that I look back sometime pondering, saying to myself, I can't actually believe I did that when I was 17, and now I'm 37. So everything we did back then, we wouldn't do now. As we even if you 27 and you still doing things that you were when you were 17, you might be mildly, you might have some type of, you might be mentally challenged. Every year you should be evolving and learning and growing mentally, physically, spiritually, but especially over decades. So over decades, you should be changed. So I look back and see some of the things I did at 17, and now I would never. So that's why I say he was 17, due to the fact of bad parenting, a trash culture, he made a big mistake in a heat of the moment, took somebody's life. So I don't think he should have been sentenced to 35 years, because 35 years, people will say, oh, that's not life. He'll still be young when he come home. But man, when he come home, man, even if he do the 17, even if he do half of that and get parole, which is who knows how that's gonna turn out, but it's just not looking good for the brother, you know what I'm saying? But let me go. And so what I'm saying is, I feel like he was over sentenced. I feel like maybe he could have gotten like 10 years. Which still, when you come home, and this I know, when you come home from prison off an aggravated charge, man, life hard for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can't stay in no apartments. Some realtors ain't gonna deal with you because, you know, if you got certain type of stuff in your background and you go to a realtor, now a lot of them will, when it comes to money, but I'm just saying some won't. Especially established realtors, they might won't touch you because, and I know all this from experience, they'll say, well, okay, listen, I know you, or they don't know you, maybe you have changed, whatever, but now you coming from an aspect of you, it's different because you got HOA and all that, but I'm just saying from a realtor perspective, if they put you in the neighborhood, right? Let's just say they put you in the neighborhood and you got a history of violence. Let's just use for example. Or you got one violent charge, like say Mello, he get out, go to a realtor, I want to move in this neighborhood, and something happened in that neighborhood, and he killed somebody's child, he killed somebody's brother, somebody's husband, and it come to find out that this realtor moved him in that neighborhood. I just don't know how that. I think that would look from me having conversation with a realtor. That just would be. It could possibly, if it's a new realtor, could possibly be career ending. You move this person in our neighborhood, you knew, just like child rapists and stuff like that. There. Um, so even if he was to do 10 years, when he come home, his life is drastically changed. As a 17-year-old athlete, he had a bright future. From my understanding, I don't know if it's true, I haven't verified it, but he was enrolled in college and everything, graduated with I think a 3.7 or something, 3 something like that. And so, he was his trajectory was to be a great citizen in America. But going to prison, he can go to prison and get a degree. He can go to prison and be great. But even though he can go to prison and get degrees and all that, when he come home now that's what when you talk about, which is by the time he come home, the world, because it's already going in that direction, the world gonna be way further more advanced with AI, and a lot of jobs gonna be taken away and replaced with robots. And so if you know how to do certain things with your hand, like welding, painting, pipe fitting, things like that, he'll still be able to get a job. And he can get those trades in the penal system. So he'll still be able to be successful when he get out. He can even come out and write a book. He can come out and bring awareness to other young men. He can come out and do a lot of things and live a great life. That's not what I'm saying. But it's tricky once you go through that position, especially for killing somebody. It's very, very tricky when you know what I'm saying, when you get out. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you don't got a support system. If you got a support system, which I'm sure he'll have, because he came like a little celebrity out of this situation, so people will know who he is. People may forget him between now and then, but when he come out, everybody will be, oh yeah. And so yeah. But you know, he made a bad decision. And again, when I say he got over sentenced, that's from my perspective, because I understand that he made a bad choice. He have bad parents. His culture is trash. But if I was Austin Metcalf's father, I wouldn't be saying that. I'd be singing a whole nother tune, because he don't never get to see his son again. And this recent rant that Mr. Metcalf came out with. I'm not upset with him about that. You know what I'm saying? He got to deal with God on his own Pacific time, and you know, him and God got to have a conversation, and God got to heal him. But all the stuff he said, he got the right to say it, because you know why? When this all started, when all of this started, he went to the press conference. When they held the press conference with this, I think he queer, I don't know. That it was a handler of the case. He wasn't a lawyer, none of his name, I believe, Dominique Alexander. And you know, Mr. Metcalf's father went up there. Now, not mind you, this the guy whose son was just killed. He went up there and like, I forgive him and I want to pray with the family. And again, I covered this when it first happened. I covered it with about a 2 or 3 part series. You can go back and check it out. But like I said in that series, if they would have welcomed him in and prayed with him, that would have killed the race narrative. That would have helped him in sentencing. That would have helped this whole situation. But now come to find out we understand. Now come to find out we understand that the parent really is money hungry. And Karmelo was a sacrificial lamb for his family to live a good life. And it's unfortunate, it's evil, but it is what it is. And we're gonna get into all of that on this episode. But what I'm saying is, if he would have invited them in, invited Jeff Metcalf in to pray, that would, like I say, would have killed the whole race narrative, which would have killed the money, which would have killed everything, and it would have helped him in sentencing. It would have helped. When they tried to play that race stuff, people tired of that. When they play, that's what the big mistake. But see, the race stuff, the race grift is money in that, because black people have been trained to believe that everything's about race, and that's very lucrative, right? This man raised over $500,000 quickly, right? Over a race narrative. But you got children in the hood every day, right now in the summertime, standing in front of gas station with signs trying to raise money for their football team, for their baseball team, and people walk right past them. All kind of stuff. Children who started dying every day in the black community, who need burial prices because they didn't have no life insurance. Children that just got out of school and they want to go to college, but they don't have no money. They going through the student loans process and all that. They could have all kind of funds and using that money to support them. They didn't do that. They used it to support somebody who took somebody's life, but they did it on the basis of a race because it was a white boy. We all know this. And this is embarrassing. And it's so crazy that people are not even embarrassed to show and say these things out loud. Like, I would be embarrassed. I'm talking about, I would be embarrassed to be saying some of the stuff these people are saying. But again, I digress. And so they used him for money. They sold the pole dude up. Like I said, if they would allow Mr. Metcalf in and pray, that would have killed a lot. That would have helped them, right? So everything he's saying now, after they did the way they did, they got the people to come escort him out, and the way they handled him after they son killed his son, the way they treated him, he got the right to say everything he said. And guess what? Whether he said something that was offensive or not, he got the right. Now, whether he right in God's eyes, maybe not. Him and God, the man already said, look, man, I'm not perfect. You know, I believe in God, and I know God, you know, this man took the side of doing the right thing at first. And anybody like that, that's not a God way, but that's a way of the flesh. Because I know I always had that problem. Like, it's kind of like, I'm gonna say it like this. I give you 10. I know, listen, I give you 1,000. If you give me 100, I give you 1,000. That's the type of person I am. But if you give me 50, if you call yourself showing to me, it's F you. That's just how I always was. I'm getting out of that because that's not God's way. But that's the way of the world. That's somebody who in their flesh, and that's how he feel. Like, I tried to come and show love and say, man, I forgive you, son. Let's pray. Let's get together. And you said F me. So now he got time, and now y'all playing the race call even more. Well, you know what? F. And I'm going nuclear. I'm going scorched earth. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't mad at none of the stuff he said, but like I said, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I'm gonna be honest. I can't lie. I can't, sugarcoat. I am appalled. I am flabbergasted. I mean, I was trying to think of a word and create a word, but I really didn't. Listen, I can't believe. I literally cannot believe that there are black people who are on this boy's side in the standpoint of saying he should have been found not guilty on the grounds of self-defense. I just can't believe that. I can't believe that this case is being made about race, everything. And guess what? The sentencing, I'm gonna get into that part, but I want to say this here. Is everybody saying that there's a video where he was being attacked? There's a video with him being attacked, and that's why he acted out of self-defense. Listen, man, that is a lie. We all know that there is a lie. That's a lie, bro. Listen, man, we all know. We've all been children before at track meets, but in this day and time, we know that everybody is doing this. Everybody doing this. Everybody got one of these at all times, everywhere that they go. And you mean to tell me 2 years to now, a year and a half, whatever, that it has been no videos that has been resurfaced? It's just a he say, she say. Oh, I've seen the video. These people are lying and making these things up, man, to fit their narrative. These people are, I can't even believe it, bro. I can't even believe it. I was listening to somebody saying something the other day. They made a lie and said, he said even Ben Crump and Al Sharpton ain't messing with this. They didn't even touch this. You knew that was a telltale sign when you seen them not messing with it. Oh, yeah, we ain't getting in there. That dude killed that boy. Now, the sentencing up in the air. You can say he got over sentence or not. You can say the charge was wrong from it shouldn't have been murder, should have been manslaughter or not. But he killed that boy in cold blood. There wasn't no self. You can't make stuff up in a you can do that in your brain to fit your own narrative. But when you're talking about the court of law, that's not how things work. That's not how things work. It's not. I'm sorry. That is not how things work. It is about what you prove. Most of the witnesses that got on the stand were black. And mind you, what y'all got to understand is, because you got people that say anything, so I just want to clear all those things up. Oh, they might have got paid. Man, don't you know that these children at that time was 17, now 19 or 20, they probably just getting in college or start their trade, whatever they doing in life, and they were told, listen, I don't know what Texas perjury hold, but if you get on this stand and lie, that's perjury. I don't know what it holds in Texas, but that is a crime punishable by law. It's a felony. You think they were gonna get on there and lie? Even some of the people who was from his supposedly side, the defense, testified against him. Then show you something else. Like I was saying, if it was a video of some black kid getting attacked by some white boys and some teammates, guess what? Somebody would have been produced that video by now. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It doesn't. But this is what we're gonna cover in this episode. You know, this is the straw. I'm not gonna say that it's the straw that broke the camel's back, but this the straw that's probably 2 or 1 more away from breaking a camel's back. You've had so many white people come out, and I'm gonna play some of these videos for y'all in a minute. These people are coming out saying, look, this is it. Y'all made fun of Charlie Kirk. Y'all, and I'm talking about black people. And black people, so let me show you something how smart. Listen, sometimes you could just shut up. you could just shut up. You don't even have to say nothing, but you want to come on your social media app. And all of these white people that responded, why do you think they responded? Because they got the same social media apps as you. And they see what you're posting. This is why your employment, this is why people don't want to be around you. It's not about race. Black people are not suffering whatever they suffering from, whether it be unemployment, whether it be lack of promotion, whether it be whatever that they're going through in this world, in this United States, where the white man just so happened to run most things. It's not because of your skin color. It's because of your reputation. You have earned the way you have been treated, and you're doubling down on that. And white people are this close. Because again, like I tell people all the time, white people are the adults in the room. You can like it or not. You can call me a coon. You can call me. White people are the adults in the room. Because let's be honest, man. 60% of this country is white people. And yeah, we know we got the pathetic scum of the earth white liberals. But again, 60% of this country is white people, right? All of the people that migrate here, they gonna roll with the white people if it were to go down. They gonna roll with them because they know we don't have no loyalty. We hate each other, so they know we don't have no loyalty to each other. So why we have some loyalty to them? Plus, we don't have no power in America. All we are in America is glorified workers. I don't care whether you a basketball player, a football player, a rapper. Majority of the people in America work for some form. Even if you're an executive at a company, it's probably owned by a white man because that's what white people do. And then they got a head start, but we're not going to go into that because at this point, it's no such thing as they got a head start. It's a level playing field now. It's a level playing field now. This is no longer a white man's country from a standpoint of only he can make it. This is a strategic man country. Anybody can make it. When it comes to power and ownership and rulership, this is a white man country. But again, that's only because of his upbringing and your upbringing, black man. But I digress. What I'm saying is this. I need black people to understand that when they get on these apps and they do all of this hooping and hollering and making fun of Charlie Kirk's death and taking Carmelo's side and pissing on their man grave, Lil Austin grave, and just constantly in every situation supporting a black criminal whenever a white person is killed. You don't see them doing that. In situations where it did happen, with like, for example, the Daniel Penny situation, with Daniel Penny, people bringing all of these situations up, right? People bringing up George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman is not even black. I mean, not even white. I think he mixed with black and Mexican or something. You didn't hear white people celebrating about that little boy got killed. That situation with Child and he killed that little black dude and got found out guilty. You didn't hear white people celebrating that. You hear white people just kept their mouth shut. It's not them, right? In situation with Kyle Rittenhouse, the court system got it right. Kyle Rittenhouse, you can have a gun. He was out there protecting his grandfather's business. You can do that. He wasn't out there and somebody's own video of him getting jumped. And he had a gun, which is he was legally right to have, and he shot him. That was self-defense. Now, when you talk about Daniel Penny, the court justice system got it wrong. But again, those who make the rules can break the rules. Daniel Penny was supposed to get convicted of manslaughter. I understand that the dude he killed had a violent history on the train, which is Daniel Penny. Didn't know that. That the dude was acting very he was having a mental health episode on that train that night. That doesn't give you Daniel Penny. Now, if he would have actually attacked somebody, and then you could have been a good Samaritan to help that person, but he hadn't attacked anyone yet. You took it up on your right, or took it up on yourself, Mr. Penn, to put that guy in the chokehold and he lost his life. That is manslaughter all day long. That man was having a mental health episode. And when people don't talk about that little dude, the little dude found his mama in a suitcase dead. His stepfather killed her when he was a kid. The dude got mental health issues. And I'm not going to say America failed him, because let's be honest about it. America, the people who that need to be, I mean, if he don't go seek help, I mean, his parents failed him, his father and his mother. I hate to say that, RP on her soul, but they failed him. And his mom ended up getting him tied up with some dude. The dude killed her, put in a suitcase. He found, I believe he was 14. He had been messed up ever since. But no one knows that. But again, the court system got it wrong in his predicament. That happens, unfortunately. But when you talk about, but again, this system in America is ran by white people for the most part. So if they want to bend the rules, they can do that because it's their system. But it's their system now because black people are not focused on that system. Black people have two trees. I tell people all the time, every community have two trees that they operate off of, right? And that's capitalism, right? And education. Now, on both of those two trees, there's several branches from those two trees, right? And when you talk about capitalism and education, those two trees also have political positions involved because you get in political positions and you help your people with secrets and you inside a trade and you pass the plug and you able to get in the system. Strength come in numbers. So now we all in the system. We can help each other. You niggas want to be the next Michael Jordan. You niggas want to be the next NBA YoungBoy. Y'all sending y'all children to school to try to accomplish something that may not happen. They sending their children to school for show because you need to be in position to perform the same nepotism, if you want to say. And one thing about me, I admire that. See, when I see white people help any race I see helping their own race, even if it's some favoritism type stuff, any form of nepotism from another, I don't be mad. I be wanting to shake that person. Hey, you know why? Because I wish we could do that, but we can't. Because we too busy competing with each other. I'm gonna read the comments in a second. And so when I say those who make the rules break the rules, listen, if we had the court system flooded out, maybe sometime we could get a black judge and he could look at us and have some type of compassion because he know the struggle. But when you get in front of this white judge, he could be racist, but he could not be racist. When he give little Tim 10 years and give you 40. He could not be racist. If you go read an op-ed that I read on my first episode, part one of this, or you go on my Facebook page, Bernie Guillen Speaks, you'll see, and I put that op-ed, listen, all of the stuff that y'all are doing, all of the hate that y'all putting on white people, y'all hurting y'allself, y'all children, y'all hurt everybody that look like y'all because y'all don't own nothing. So these people not gonna catch y'all. They, like I said earlier, if they wanted, they could wipe all y'all out. And the people who migrated here legally gonna join them and just wipe the black people out, but they not gonna do that. And don't think, oh, they are gonna do that because we spend too much money. Yeah, we spend a lot of money, but guess what? We only 13%. It'll hurt them, it'll affect them, but it wouldn't hurt them. But instead of taking it on some gangster stuff with y'all, they busting y'all up systematically. I just seen on World Star that a woman was late 47. Go look on World Star if you think I'm lying. This black woman was late 47 times. She got fired, sued the company for racism, and won $11 million on the ground that she's had people that worked at this same company that was right, and they did it, and they didn't fire them. Again, those who make the rules can break the rules. And you got that $11 million, and you can laugh all the way on the bank. You can laugh to the bank with that $11 million. But guess what? All the black people that's going to come behind you going to be hurt, and they're going to pay for that. This is why these companies, you'll be working at the company for 20 years, black person, and Ling, Amina, the Arab taking your place now, Karen, Maria, they'll come in and get a promotion before you. And you'll say it's race. It's not race. It's reputation. As I mentioned, the thing that black people are suffering in this country is not because of racism. It's because of reputation. Y'all earned the way y'all treated. And the bad part about it is people like me, people like you, some of y'all, it's people that's getting straight bullets for this because of y'all. Because those white people handle things with tact. They're more diplomatic than y'all. They're not going, now some of them are, some of them getting angry. And there's also going to be situations where you have like the dude in the Buffalo, New York, the white supremacist who killed all them black people up. You're going to have white people. That's going to happen too here and there. Not too much, but that's going to happen too. Well, you're going to have some white people that just, they degenerate and they're angry and they're tired and they're going to kill a whole bunch of black people up. But for the most part, that's not how they act. They come because they run everything. We're gonna play them. We're gonna play them like this. This is how we're gonna play them. And okay, like I just said about that woman, we might have to take an L here and there, but that's gonna make it worse for them. But when you have situations like this where black people could have just shut up, black people could have said, you know what, I kind of disagree that he got found guilty for murder. He should have got found guilty of manslaughter, and be respectful with it. But no, it's F the white boy. We glad he did. We're yearning on his grave. We beating up random people saying that they was a part of the jury. This is what y'all are doing. This is what not all of y'all doing. And again, I'm right now as I'm speaking, I'm still flat. I can't even believe it, that they have people defending him with a make-believe video. It doesn't exist. It would have been surfaced by now. You can't listen. It's people all over that track meet. This Dallas, Texas, Frisco. That's a suburb. This wasn't no real small butt town in Boontuck, Texas. This is a major area. Multiple schools at a track meet. We've all been to a high school track meet before. I've been to them I'm from a smaller town, and track meet was packed. But of course, in my time, it wasn't smartphone. Damn, that made me feel old. But anyway, what I'm saying is everybody got smartphones fresh out the womb. The baby got. So you mean to tell me no video surveillance was surfaced of him being massively beaten? Not to mention in his mugshot, his face looked just as smooth as his face as the recently reviewed prison photo. That boy wasn't getting beat. We all know what happened. I'm 17. I was 17 before. I was a young 17-year-old black man with a two-parent household, but I was in the street, and I know. And my best friend was white. Rest in peace on his soul. But listen, it didn't matter who it was. Just like I say about the Trayvon situation. When I was 17 years old, and I'd have been walking in the neighborhood going to mess with a girl, and somebody would have came and told me, hey, man, get out of here. I know how Trayvon reacted because I know how I would have reacted. And these dudes are no different than me because guess what? Trayvon had a grill like I had. He was a part of this, his Instagram, or what it was, his Twitter, one of his tags on social media, I don't know if his Instagram or Twitter, was no limit nigga. So we know how these 17-year-old black people are. So let's stop playing. We know what happened that day at that track meet. Karmelo went over there with them AirPods in his ear, listening to NBA Young Boy shooting, you know what I'm saying? And he went over there, and Austin Metcalf, who his black coat testified under oath that he put Austin in charge, asked Karmelo 15 times, not one, not twice, not three, not four, not 15 times to leave. And we know how that 17-year-old black boy, who now we know is raised by racist parent, took that and reacted. We know. Let's not play no game, bro. Right? And when he acted that way, it's also been testified on the oath that Mr. Austin said, look, man, this is a track meet. I don't want to fight you at no track meet. And they constantly kept going back and forth, and it ended up getting to a point where Austin was like, Karmelo was like, touch me and see. Touch me and see. And he touched him or shoved him or whatever. He pulled the knife out of his bag and stared at dude, bro, and took his life, bro. That's a manslaughter that was under the heat. Manslaughter means in the heat of a moment, you try to inflict bodily harm and the victim end up dying. That's what happened. But the way y'all act and the way y'all acted up until that, y'all got that man 35 years. Niggas. All you niggas who out here mad and upset about it, you niggas got Karmelo 35 years. because y'all culture and because y'all so racism. People are tired. The jig is up. Let me play a few of these videos from these white folks because y'all think I'm just talking. Then y'all had what's his name? Y'all had Charleston White, once again a clown. Y'all had him on the case. He didn't jump off the case because I said this way months ago. Go listen to what I be saying. When I first seen that first press conference, I already knew. I knew that his daddy was a weak man. And I'm gonna show you something about that, bro. Say, bro, a weak father in the household is worse than a single parent household. Let me show you why I say that. If you living in a household where the woman is running the household and there's a man there with children, the children gonna look at that and they automatically not even gonna have no respect for you. They gonna have. I'm saying that it's a spirit. Some things are they not even gonna be able to understand why daddy, their mama. You know what I'm saying? And it's not gonna be. And so, and not only that, you mess the whole order, the spiritual order up when it's like that, and it leaves the household open for attack. Listen, women are beautiful. Women are essential. Women are a blessing to this earth. Thank you, God. Right? But listen, man, a woman is very, she's not to be at the head of any, I'm not talking about, and then again, I wouldn't put no woman over head of my company. I'm sorry. Hey, call me a sexist, call me a melt, whatever you want to call, but because I understand, I got a PhD in women knowledge. I know how the women work. I know how they think. I know everything about them. And it's so funny when we read scripture and we talk about the Adam and Eve story. And a lot of time we just talk about that story like it's just a little subtle, but it's a big, a whole bunch of big nuggets of jewels and gold that you can get out of that story about the woman. And it doesn't matter if you don't believe in the Bible believes in you. Listen, bro. We got to always look at this word of the Bible. I was reading the other day, and that's why the Bible is living life, because sometimes you could read the Bible and know stories for years, and you go back and revisit one of those stories, and it's like, damn. Man, I was reading about the Adam and Eve story, and it said that in the end, when after they had messed up and everything, it said that the woman is, I'm laughing because just seeing the day and how most men in marriages today are castrated. They living, they suffering in silence, and like it's just, man, they said that the woman is going to want to rule over her husband, but she won't be able to. And that's so true. Majority of these women today are so filled with the Jezebel spirit that they want to run the husband. And if the husband let them run them, they look at him like he weak. This is the woman. I tell people all the time, the woman is a grown child. That's all she is. That's all she is. She's a child that is living a grown-up life. She can have a successful business. She can be very educated. She can be all of these great things in the world. But again, she's a child. She's a grown child. Oh, what are you talking about? Women mature faster than men. No, they don't. Women are smarter than men. No, they don't. Women are more cunning than men. This is why women could cheat on you and have you shaking hand with the dude she cheating on you with, because they're more cunning. They more into detail. That's why, like I always tell people, if I have a lawyer or a manager, I would want them to be a woman, because I know they're gonna look at they're gonna even be, the woman is so messy and she'll look for stuff in a contract she'll look for, instead of looking, she'll look over and look to she'll magnify what they trying to, this is the woman. So when she's in the household with the man and she's given the crown of the household, first of all, the order of Christ is God and Christ, Christ and man, man over woman, woman over children. So when a woman, if that's messed up in any kind of way, everything is out of whack. So it's worse, in my opinion, than a single parent household. And I seen that from the beginning when this press conference, the same press conference that they kicked Mr. Metcalf out when he wanted to pray, he's letting her speak for the family. Huh? It's no way. Now we not together, and still, but if we not, I mean, I'm gonna speak to them if that's the case. Like if me and you we not together, but when our son get killed in a situation or something tragic happen, you know what I'm saying, and I don't have, power over you no more because we not together and you don't want to listen. So you want to speak and I'm gonna speak, so we both gonna speak. That's fine. But coming from a standpoint of we married and you gonna speak for the family, you a woman, and you up here all falling apart. Listen, babe, check this out. I'ma speak. See, I come up in a two-parent. I'm under that old law. I come up in a two-parent household. My daddy was right, and my mama was submissive to that because my mama was a real woman. My mama was the real divine feminine. And she didn't have a problem with that. See, that's the problem with these women today. They don't understand divine femininity, which is their number one strength. They don't know that though. They want to either be equal or over. In most cases, over. They want to lord over the man. And because most of these men are raised without their fathers, right? They feel natural, right? It's natural for them to have their woman lord over them because that's all they know. It's grandma and mama and some aunties and mama friend. That's all they know growing up is it was a woman always there to take care of them and do this and do that. So they grow up, they give them a relationship and they allow the woman to rule them. Women do not respect that. If you one of those type of men, I'm telling you now, your woman got another man and he might be broke. He might be a broke masculine nigga and he can get your wife and you rich or you doing good. Women do not like that. They become very, very resentful towards you. And if you keep doing that, they'll, because the women got the three, I call them the three, I forgot what I call them, but it's three things gonna happen if you one of those type of men. And this most black men today, because their upbringing, not even their fault, some of them. And because they don't see God, so God can give them their divine masculinity, right? They stay in that situation. So these are the things that the woman will do when you're like that. Number one, they'll become very, very unpleasant. Very unpleasant. Number two, you won't be getting no vagina, buddy. You won't be getting no vagina. She's going to always, I'm not tonight. I'm not in the mood. You're not going to be getting no vagina. And then eventually, if you just get two on her, number three happens. She take, if you got something, she's going to take half of what you got, leave. Take your children, leave, have them around all kind of other men. This is the three things women do to weak men. And they'll stay with you longer if you got something to benefit them. They'll stay with you longer if they're beneficial to you. But eventually they have to go. Women cannot stand weak men. I'm telling y'all. But again, I digress. Let's get back to Mr. Karmelo Anthony. So I want to play a few of these videos because you Negroes seem not to understand why things are going the way they go for y'all when it comes to white people. But again, the jig is up. The jig is up. And I'm going to read some of y'all comments and I'll reply to each and every comment. Like, comment, subscribe, man. It's popping. Like, comment, subscribe. I want to see if I want to get into this. Yeah, I'm going to wait on that. Yeah, we're going to wait on that one. We're going to go here first. Let's see. Let's play this one first.
Or every party off, killing that white boy. They're not used to this shit happening to them, y'all. Oh, my only problem is it should happen more. We should make a day like every Thursday or every Wednesday where we just wake up and fuck up a white girl or a white boy. Just beat their ass. Especially the old ones. Just beat their ass, the kids. Just beat their ass. Shit about to change whether they know it or not. They talking all this shit online, this racist shit. But in reality, they're going to have to get out here with us in a minute. And boy, I can't wait the day we beat the fuck out these crackers. They don't stand a chance. Y'all, I said the day we do that to their kids more. I hope their kids riding in hell. Matter of fact, I wish I knew what a little white boy grade was so I could spit on that bitch. Dig him up, smack him up again, stab him up again, put his ass back in there. This is a $13 blade you can buy one. It's called a 6-in-1 multi-tool. When you see function, what is the first function of this tool? It says not. What is the problem? It's a light. The second function is flashlight, fire start.
My bad for that,
like
guy.
every Thursday or every.
Right. Let's go to it, man.
You want to know something that this guilty verdict taught me? And I'm not talking about Karmelo Anthony. I'm talking about the people.
Gotta play this.
You want to know something that this guilty verdict taught me? And I'm not talking about Karmelo Anthony. I'm talking about the people. This case showed me just how many of you can't think beyond the color of your skin. And I don't mean you don't notice race or nothing like that. Everybody notices race and you are alive. You say you don't. I'm talking about how some of you refuse to think past it at all. I mean, you saw a black defendant and a white victim and just stopped thinking altogether. Then the evidence, the trial, and the verdict all became secondary to you and race became primary. And that's why I'm not shocked by the guilty verdict or the 35 years that they gave. What shocked me is watching how some of you act like the guilty verdict is just impossible and off the table altogether. I mean, how can a guilty verdict be impossible before we've heard all the evidence, let alone before the trial? The answer is real simple. A lot of people will say when they came back and did ass. Because when the evidence, the facts, all of that became irrelevant and race started doing all the thinking for you. That's why right now a lot of you feel disappointed and exposed. Not because you supported Karmelo or because you disagree with the verdict. None of that at all. That's your choice. That's your right. But because it revealed in real time that race was doing all the thinking for you and nothing else. How a lot of you were saying he's black, so I'm with him. How a lot of you were calling other black people coons because they refused to automatically support a stranger.
Why are you doing it though?
How a lot of you became emotionally attached to a conclusion before the evidence even showed up. And then when that guilty verdict came back, the same people want to act shocked. Why is that? Is it because you weren't evaluating the evidence, but instead trying to protect your identity instead? That's the lesson I took from this. The guilty verdict didn't have to convince me that some of you can't think beyond the color of your skin. How you reacted before and after the verdict, that did it for me. Because if all I have to do is tell you the races that are involved, and then I, as a stranger, can predict what your opinion is going to be before you see a police report, hear a single testimony, let alone examine the evidence, I know you weren't following the facts. You were looking for facts to match up whatever conclusion you wanted. And that's dangerous as hell. Because the minute race becomes your primary filter, now everything got to get screened. Questions, everything, evidence. And then you're not screening it by logic or reason. You're screening it by race. And then once that happens, I know you're not searching for the truth. You're searching for confirmation bias. That's what was revealing about this case to me. How so many of you claim to be thinking independently, and yet your conclusion can be predicted just by knowing the races that are involved. I mean, think about that. How a complete stranger can predict your position before you even know the facts. That's not independent thought at all. That's why I kept saying from the beginning, hell, last year, race isn't evidence of anything. Because the moment you let race become the evidence of anything, now the truth became a fucking casualty. And the guilty verdict didn't teach me that. A lot of you did. And then you want to know the biggest hypocrisy that this case exposed? How for years we've heard, stop making everything about race. until a black person is involved. How we watched a lot of you say race shouldn't determine outcomes, then get angry when race doesn't determine the outcome you want. Flat out hypocrites. How some of you claim to hate racism, but the truth is you just want your version of it to be called something else. And that's why this guilty verdict is so revealing. Not because it proved race didn't matter, but because it exposed how a lot of you do need race to matter. And if your commitment to race is stronger than your commitment to truth, don't tell me you fighting for justice. A lot of you want revenge against white people for what they did to our ancestors in the past. And what I'm trying to understand is, how is it different when we engage in the same thought process and behavior that they did? I said a while back, a lot of you became the very same white supremacists you complain about in this case proved. You're no different and you're no better engaging in that same bigoted ass mindset. Hell, a lot of you seem to forget the white supremacists that invented the construct of race. Yeah, they rigged that fucking game to their benefit and not ours. And then you wonder why every time you play the race game, we lose. Wasn't meant for us to benefit from. It's about time a lot of you start thinking beyond the color of your skin. Otherwise, shit like this is going to continue to happen.
And worse.
But peace.
I ain't finished. Hold on. I got a whole bunch more. And I want to address some of these comments real quick. We're going to start with phone auto talk. If you're looking at this by color, you don't deserve to be in this country. I agree 1,000%. Right is right. See, we dealing with, you know what I've learned, bro, in this country for the last 8 years, especially since I started kind of like coming into knowledge. You're not dealing with black and white. You're not dealing with Republican or Democrat. You're dealing with good versus evil, smart versus dumb. And a lot of these situations, such as this, was an IQ test. And again, most black people, and again, this is not me bashing, this is me telling the truth. And let me dive in there before I finish the comment. Most black people have very, very low IQ. I'm going to tell you why. You know, again, I told y'all earlier in the video that every community have two pillars in the community, two trees with several branches. And all of the community got the same two trees with several branches on each tree. That's the capitalism tree, the education tree. This is the thing that they thrive. But the black community have two trees too. They the only community in the world or the United States that have this. They have two trees. And that two trees is social justice and social media with several trees. Is capitalism on one of those trees as a branch? Absolutely. Is education one of the branches on those trees? Absolutely. But it's not their pillars. Their pillars is social justice, social media. Everything that their whole life, from when they wake up in the morning, not all, but most, is either how can what I'm doing, where I'm going, where I work, how can that give me likes on social media? How can that give me like, how can this make me be viewed? And if it's not coming from that perspective, it's I'm black. Woe is me because I'm black this. This is their whole life. So this takes up all of their time and energy to the point where they can't think outside of that to grow their mental capabilities. Even when you talk about the athletes and people who get money and the black people who are financially stable and successful, it's all about social media. They spend money on looking good to flex on their own because they know they can't compete with nobody else. They can't flex on nobody else. They can't even flex on the people who come here, the Asians, the Arabs. They can't even flex on them. So they get these things and they take trips. You can't go to the airport. You go to the airport, you trying to get through TSA and they stumbling all over you because they trying to be on a selfie. They going live, right? Everywhere they go. I seen one of these goofy females the other day. She a phlebotomist. She actually taking a picture or video of her giving blood to a patient and posting it on her story. They can't do nothing without posting it because everything. But listen, bro, I don't want to go too deep and get off too far, too veer off subject. But I believe that's why I think social media was because, bruh, social media was the last nail in the coffin to black people. When you see these people, when y'all see all these people fighting at and airports and all that, this is something that was planted on social media. That's where it came from, and it just ended up manifesting into them seeing each other. But it's all about that's their whole life. When you come from, when you got a community who don't have fathers in the home, right? They come up in a single parent household. They're neglected. A lot of them have low self-esteem, and they can get validated on social media. Social media is a place where they can go and make their horrible life look good, be broke, look rich, and do all kind of stuff. Is a facade, and it gives them meaning, right? And so when you talk about social media, this is why they, again, but I don't want to go to. So that's why social media, and that's all they hold. And again, if it's not that, it's social justice. Everything about black. Like, bro, whereas these other people, that's not nowhere on their mind being on word. Do they have other races of people that do it? Because you gotta be that's another thing, you gotta be very precise when you're talking about when you having these conversations with black people. Because the first thing they'll say is, I know white people post on social media, so we know all that. What I'm saying is it's not something that, and the ones of them who obsessive with social media is the ones that hang with you Negroes. That's who it is. They wiggers, and they live the black way. But I'm saying, I was with my white boy, I was with some of my white friends, a couple of months ago, and I was telling him, I was like, they real successful, and I was telling him, like, why y'all don't travel? And he was like, we do. We just don't post everything. And it was like, it hit me like, I'm like, it was funny, but it was like, damn, you feel me? And he was showing me some places that they don't, because they don't care. That's not what my lawyer. He go to suite now. He don't never post when he go to suite. He might post like one picture and that's it. He not going live. Hey, bro, I'm in suite. Like, bro, and like they can't even have fun because their whole life is about. I seen this. Listen, man, I'm telling you, it's disgusting. I seen a woman the other day, bro, and she a business owner. This I told up there. She a business owner and she's riding and she takes a picture of a car seat. I don't know if she was going to make a deposit or she had just got some money. I don't know. It's probably like 30,000 on the seat, all 100. And I'm like, and she posted this on social media. Everybody know, and I'm not saying nobody gonna do it now, because again, but I'm just saying, what are we doing? Right? But this is a community that's just so low self-esteem. They got such low value of themselves. Why? Because as children, a seed is planted in them. This is another thing I was telling my one of my little family members the other day. A seed is planted in most black children as a child that you have to work harder in America. That you can't succeed because you're black. These seeds grow and they manifest. And these grown adults, and I look at men, and it's just so that when I see black men like that, I mean, women, again, I understand they're grown children, but the black men who still, you got black men with gray hair in their face still crying and whining about white people. Like, how faggot and feminine could you can be? You know what I mean? And then you got these white people and all these other races, they're not doing that with their children. They're telling their children from you could do whatever you want. You're going to be great. Now, again, these things manifest. So now a 40-year-old black man, a 40-year-old white man look at the world completely different. The black man look at the world as it's against him because he's black, just because he's black, not because the reputation of people who look like him, just because he's black. And the white man looking at we're going to take the white man out because he's 60% of the population. He's in power. We're going to say the Asian. He looking at America like, thank you, God, I'm here. What? The Arab, the Indian. What? I'm in America? I could do, man, get the. And the black man, he could be a lawyer. He could be a professional football player. And he's still, I'm LeBron. I'm racial. It's sick, it's pathetic, it's demonic, and it's feminine. But let me finish reading these comments. But again, that was the first comment from Mr. or Mrs. Phone Auto Talk. I don't know who you are, but I agree with you 1,000%. You say, looking at if you're looking at that situation by color, you don't deserve to be in the country. I agree with you 1,000%. Mr. DJ Hudgens, white person here. I grew up with black culture. Accountability was seldom unless cornered or thrown under the bus. So let's address that. First of all, you got to understand about the woman, especially the black woman, because I'm black. I've dated more black women than anything. I've dated white women whose situation took place and they were accountable. But one thing you will not get is a black woman that's accountable. If you do marry her, please, because you got something you got a diamond. Black women are not accountable. They do not. Accountability is worse than HIV to them. Right? And so when you talking about a culture who is ran by women, you're talking about a culture who is ran by women. Black women are the default leaders of the black community. What do you expect? What do you expect? So that's why black people are not accountable, because the leaders of their community is not. And that trickles down. Let's go to the next comment. Mr. Nate Hovius, Austin only died. Carmelo's mouth and poop are getting tore for the next 30. Well, that's not gonna happen because, of course, he in prison in Texas. There's more black people there, and they gonna protect him. Not to mention he a little celebrity. He gonna be popping. He gonna be getting a lot of fan mail, a lot of support from a lot of people. He's a little celebrity, so the black gonna protect him. He'll be all right. But I know he probably just joking, but that was kind of funny. And Pat Paulson corrected you and said 17 and a half. Yeah, that's when he's eligible for parole. But one thing about prison, I've been. Go check out my real prison story. Listen, he won't get his people first try. He won't get out his first try at 17 and a half. Parole eligibility is not for sure. It's not for sure. It's possible, but 17 years in a war zone, because that's what prison is, anything can happen. Herman would make friends quickly. I don't understand that comment, Mr. Pat Paulson. Somebody named user BS2ZK1CY4K parole, not people. Thank you for the comment. We are all American. We need to come together just in case the government comes for us. Well, the government not gonna come for us. Especially not right now. But hopefully we keep Republicans in. Republicans are not perfect, but they are, for the most part, small government. It's the Democrats that's big government, want the government to completely control your life. So I agree with you on that a little bit, Mr. Marco Toratipu. Thank you for the comment. King Days. I'm from Milwaukee. I spent majority of my life in Chicago and the last 10 years working and living on the north side of Milwaukee. Majority of people I know, skin color doesn't play into a lot of shit. Well, okay. Thanks for the comment. This should have never been about race, but what race is, we're raising money and GoFundMe. Absolutely. Thanks for the comment. The Aryan brothers will ensure he gets an extended stay. Nah, they ain't, like I say, Nate, they gonna hold him down. A black gonna protect him. He an asset. King Dave, it's an excuse. I'm white and Latino and protected by majority of the black community I know. By a lot of them will take advantage of a racial issue as an excuse to riot and loot. Absolutely. Speaking the truth. Thanks, Mr. Marco. And most importantly, go Pack Go. Absolutely. I'm riding with Pittsburgh this year. Aaron Rodgers is my favorite person, my favorite quarterback of all time. He surpassed Brett Favre in my top quarterback, but I'll be riding with him in Pittsburgh. But it's forever Green Bay. I've been a Green Bay Packer since 1995. Tracy Egger, Packers fan. Go Pack Go, baby. How you doing, Smile? Be fine. I hope you're having a blessed day and an amazing Monday. Get a job. Okay, thanks. The absolute ignorance of these morons. Hi. Damn, it's a lot of comments. I didn't know they had all these comments. I gotta read them though. I gotta read them though. I know I can't sing. You ain't gotta tell me. Tell bro I'm his Huckleberry. 1229. What? What you mean the hypocrisy report? What that's all about? Somebody address? Set up. Okay, I'll tell them. Guilty of being right. I like that. I like that title. Only evil defends evil. Absolutely, sir or ma'am. Yes, the Carmelo Anthony case. The Karmelo Anthony case made it worse for black people. Now we have to be held accountable for our actions. Hey man, say man. Thanks for the comment, Mr. Frost. And the O in Frost is a 0. Looking up to rappers and celebrities and not your father or law is the problem. Big screen TV, blunts and 40s. DCM 0224. Thank you for the comment. Karmelo Anthony case made it harder for black people because now thank you, Mr. Frost. Only one lives in the moment. Anymore it sucks. Thank you for the comment. The Big City 4165. Facts. Ruderax. Thanks for the comment. Max Ray 6817. Are you a fan or you just in the colors? I'm a diehard fan, but I think I just covered that. Thanks for the comment, Max Ray 6817. I've seen more racist black people than racist white people. It's sad. The Big City 4165. You're absolutely correct. Thanks for your comment. They are against us. We are against ourselves, Mr. Thanks for the comment, but Mr. E.T. Pops 804, they are against us. No, we are against ourselves. And forcing them to not be against us because of our race, but because of our reputation. Anarchy of the West, proud to be white. Ain't nothing wrong with that. God ain't make no mistakes. He would have made you in it. He'd have made you with whatever color he made you white. You're supposed to be proud. Ozzy Crosby, I'm white and proud. You should be proud. As I just told a person before you, God created you white, so you should be happy. Ozzy Crosby, 2092, and Anarchy of the West, thank you for y'all comments. Danny H5K, he's a murderer. What to talk about? Exactly, made a mistake. Carmelo isn't the victim. Ozzy Crosby, thanks for the other comment. Your people haven't had it this good ever in history, and you all are still playing the victim card. The truth is the truth, and that is the truth, Mr. Ty Steiner. Thank you for your comment. Pretty bad timing for this incident to happen. Racial tension has been high for years. Yep, ever since Obama got in office, he started it. But thanks for the comment, Mr. I don't know if it's a Mr. or Mr. Riller T. Rella T. If your ancestors could see what you have become, they knock the shit out of you. I agree. They would be very hurt. But I asked everybody to like, comment, subscribe. Please like, comment, subscribe. We about to get into the rest of this video. And I thank y'all for all the comments, man. I thank y'all for all the comments, bro. I thank y'all for all the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into the rest of this. Cause this is just a travesty, man. This just is a travesty, man. Okay, so let's get in the rest of this. This one was funny. I gotta play this one. This one was really funny. And I say funny because, bro, it's crazy how Negroes be tripping out. They be chimping out, bro.
Justice for Karmelo. Be honest. It was self-defense. No, just be honest. We just love when white people get murdered. Thank you. Justice for Karmelo. Be honest. It was self-defense. No, just be honest. We just love when white people get murdered. Thank you. Justice for...
Let's say about Karmelo Anthony. Listen what Snoop Dogg here had to say about Karmelo Anthony.
So Carmelo just got found guilty, and I'm not surprised at all. I was already preparing myself for the worst for this young brother. This is my thing though. America is so funny because they will understand self-defense in situations like Trayvon Martin, or as we just seen, Rick Child with Cyrus Bell, even though he chased someone down, shot him in the back, and they went through all the loops in their brains to understand self-defense in that moment, but they can't understand when it was Carmelo. It's just, man,
No, dumb motherfucker. I don't know what the fuck you're trying to say. All I hear is a bunch of goofy ass shit coming out of niggas' mouths. Fuck Karmelo Anthony and fuck Cyrus Belton's dumbass. Dumbass kid couldn't follow basic directions and problem solve properly. His parents got him killed. Black culture got him killed. Now Karmelo Anthony's in prison because he couldn't control his emotions and de-escalate the situation. Stabbing someone after they push you is not self-defense, nigga. I'm telling you, niggas are the most politically illiterate people in the fucking country. We don't do research. We don't pay attention to fucking shit. This is exactly why we need to start restricting some of you niggas' right to vote. What the fuck are you even talking about? Niggas out here chimping the fuck out. They don't know the basic facts of the case. Why don't you niggas pick somebody worth defending for fucking once? Do better, niggas. Listen what Snoop Dogg here had to say about Karmelo Anthony. Karmelo Anthony deserves justice and no peace.
Since when did being judged by a jury of your peers mean that a black kid's future is dependent upon a group of white people? Karmelo Anthony's racially politicized murder trial began this week, and there won't be a single black person on the jury. During the rounds of jury strikes, 3 black women were removed because of their occupation as school teachers. Another black juror was removed after he said he could not send a brother to jail. So he let Karmelo be at the mercy of white Texans. Anthony is already seemingly overcharged with first-degree murder, and the court is really stacking the deck against him with his jury selection.
Niggas are just so fucking stupid and so fucking tribal. Nobody's being overcharged. The nigga murdered the fucking kid. I would say that black people typically vote on the basis of race and not the evidence in hand. And this is fucking typical of the older generation of blacks. This entire case is a reflection of how we cheer and champion criminals in our community. We throw parties for niggas that come home from jail for dope dealing and murder. This dysfunctional ass nigga shit is killing black people. I don't understand how you niggas don't understand that. Karmelo been white, and his name started with a C and not a K. Austin been black, his name had been D'Angelo. You niggas will be calling for the death penalty tomorrow. Do better, please. Karmelo.
Here we go.
Billy Blair and his 71-year-old wife, Virginia, were murdered.
This is one I gotta play because this is very important. This is not a joke. I want y'all to listen to this. And these people are getting fed up.
74-year-old Billy Blair and his 71-year-old wife, Virginia, were murdered inside their Mississippi home by this kid, 17-year-old Cordarius Hobbs, who broke into their house last Wednesday. The cops were conducting a welfare check after relatives said they couldn't get a hold of the couple and found Hobbs burglarizing the home. The teenager then barricaded himself inside the house and proceeded to have a 6-hour standoff with the cops. He shot at 4 officers and an infant who happened to be outside at the time. The Blairs ran a local tire business together, and Virginia was a church pianist of 30 years, and now they're dead. So was this self-defense? I mean, how dare this white couple actually be in their home while this kid was just lifting some reparations from it? Maybe they scared him. God forbid they tried to stop him. Maybe Jasmine Crockett thinks that the gun that he showed up to their house with didn't count as a deadly weapon. Or maybe black culture is failing its young people, and it has been for years. 2 white children up in Boston were just robbed at their lemonade stand by 2 other kids with guns. These are the suspects. 22-year-old Billy Schmidt was a Penn State student who was gunned down in cold blood for his cell phone in Philadelphia last week. These are the suspects. A Hispanic girl working at a McDonald's in Greensboro, North Carolina, was jumped and got her nose broken by 3 girls who were mad because they were asked to leave the store. These are the suspects. Entire sections of major American cities are being terrorized by roving gangs of black teenagers who have taken over entire city blocks, vandalized public property, destroyed vehicles, launched all-out brawls, and assaulted cops. Black culture is failing its children. We can all see the evidence right in front of our own faces. Black people who don't subscribe to this nonsense have called it out. And yet we're being told by liberal white women and the snot-nosed media to ignore our own good common sense. And young Black people are suffering for it. These victims certainly suffered for it, and society will continue to suffer for it.
There it
This
is.
really embarrassing. Okay, this is really.
There it is. There it is. I'm not done. I want y'all to hear this.
Your culture sucks. Take a look in the mirror. Take responsibility for your actions. Your culture sucks. This stupid, fake, Black bravado hip hop culture cost one young man his life and then wasted the life of another young man and the actions of his own family. Again, this is not some ghetto. This is a nice area. If this fake Black bravado crap has penetrated into now even affluent Black communities, your culture is more screwed than even I thought it was. You have a cancer in your culture. Root it out. But we are done bending over backwards. We're done placating you like children. We're done. Your names have no power. Your name calling has no power. The rest of us now, we're going to move on and be American. Your culture sucks. Take a look in the mirror. Take responsibility for your actions. Your culture sucks. This stupid, fake, Black bravado hip hop culture cost one young man his life and then wasted the life of another young man and the actions of his own family. Again, this is not some ghetto. This is a nice area. If this fake Black bravado crap has penetrated into now even affluent Black communities, your culture is more screwed than even I thought it was. You have a cancer in your culture. Root it out. But we are done bending.
What are you doing? Mr. Black's problem is easy to solve. Mr. John is back. Black problem is easy to solve. Just act a little whiter. Stop killing each other. Stop stealing. Stop acting a fool. Easy, unless you're an animal with no impulse control. Well, unfortunately, most of them don't have impulse control because they're, again, raised by women, right? And when you're raised by a woman, especially a single mother, in most cases, these single mothers are overwhelmed. They're angry and they project. They project that impulsive, overly emotional spirit on the boys and the girls. And then the little boy, that's very, very dangerous. You say be a little whiter. Well, you don't have to be a little whiter. Just be a little bit more godly. How about be a little bit more godly?
Remember.
But hold on. I'm not done. I want to show y'all some more videos. Because now what I'm doing, I'm coming from the white perspective and I'm showing y'all how y'all are affecting yourselves and several other people that's coming behind y'all. Because white people are done and they're getting closer and closer. But let's finish. I want to play this one.
Karmelo Anthony was a racist young Black man who was taught to be racist by his family, by his peers, and by this hip-hop culture that's permeating out of our televisions and our phones every day. He went to that track meet and did exactly what he went to that track meet to do, and that was take somebody's life, preferably somebody's life. Karmelo Anthony was a racist young Black man who was taught to be racist by his family, by his peers, and by this hip-hop culture that's permeating out of our televisions and our phones every day. He went to that track meet and did exactly what he went to that track meet to do, and that was take somebody's life, preferably somebody white. In my opinion, this was a racially motivated killing. And your number one defense is that his blade was only 3.5 inches. Well, 3.5 inches went right through Austin Metcalf's heart, and he died. And that was his intent when he showed up. Getting in a shoving match when you're invading somebody else's space is not akin to being in danger of losing your life. Karmelo Anthony was the aggressor. He went there and he did what he came to do. This was a cold-blooded homicide. And now we have people that are identifying more with the skin color of the murderer than the grief of a family. And if that's the case with you, if you identify more with the skin color of the murderer than the grieving, tormenting loss and anguish of that family, then you're the racist. You are the bigot. Because we are getting to a point where the fatigue is morphing into anger and resolve. You don't get to do whatever the hell you want to do simply because your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was a slave. Fuck you.
See that? See that? See? See? Y'all think I'm talking. White folk getting mad. And guess what? I know some of y'all, the ones of y'all who don't have, that y'all have low IQ, y'all probably the same one who y'all gonna say, man, them white boys, let them do what they do. That's not how you feel. And I'm gonna show you even worse. I'm gonna show you even worse than that. Let me play this one before you real quick.
Y'all are so worried about Karmelo Anthony, and y'all are literally shooting shit up right now. You know they all won't.
Am I the only one paying attention around this motherfucker? Was there not just a shooting back in May where a black dude shot up a party, killed one person, shot 23 people? There was just another shooting in Shreveport, Louisiana, where dude killed 8 of his own kids.
Every day. It's every day in the inner city near you. Every day.
One of them tried to escape, died on top of the roof. You know, it's not a race issue. The fact of the matter is we got a mental health problem inside this country. I don't know why y'all trying to pin everything on white people. Because we gonna talk about mass shootings and shootings. There's a shooting every day in your democratic city. Black on black crime, and you sit inside your house and you don't say nothing to the police, but you beg and whine talking about when we gonna have some changes. I don't like black women. I'm just keeping it a buck with y'all. Okay, I don't like black women. Black women don't know how to read. Black women smell like ass. Black women got 8, 9, 10 baby daddy. No, won't want to be around you. Yeah, no.
Nah,
Take your stank ass somewhere else.
Man, that's tripping, man. Hold on, I shouldn't even, man, that's tripping.
Doesn't that got Karmelo Anthony convicted of murder, or was it the fact that he stabbed a man in the heart to death that got it? Was it racism that got Karmelo Anthony convicted of murder, or was it the fact that he stabbed a man in the heart to death that got him convicted of murder? I'm just gonna come right out and say, as a white girl, it is not the color of your skin that we are tired of. It is your culture. It is the way you behave. And you can call me racist all you want to. I'm not going to sit here and list off my credentials about how many black people I'm friends with to try to get you to stop calling me racist. We are tired of the loud, violent, ghetto culture that seems to be primarily from people of color. It's not the color of your skin. There are plenty of people who are respectable that are black. It is the way you present yourself. It is the way you treat other people. It's the fact that you have to scream and yell at everybody. It's the fact that you have to start a fight anytime somebody looks at you cross-eyed. This isn't because Karmelo Anthony is black. It's because of the culture he was raised in. The culture he was raised in told him to fight, to be violent, to get in people's faces. He was somewhere he wasn't supposed to be, and it wasn't because he was black, it's because he wasn't part of the team, and he was asked to leave. Instead of leaving, he got in a fight. He chose to pull a knife and stab Austin Metcalf in the heart to death. He wasn't being forced to be there. They didn't go out of their way to antagonize Karmelo Anthony. Karmelo Anthony went out of his way to antagonize Austin Metcalf. And it doesn't matter what words were exchanged. It doesn't matter if Austin was taller than Karmelo. There is nothing to justify pulling a knife and stabbing somebody in the heart. And the way that your community is responding to this conviction is exactly what we are tired of. A black man went up to an innocent white man and punched him in the face because he thought he was on the jury that convicted Karmelo Anthony. There are people who stood outside waiting for Austin Metcalf's family to get out of the courthouse just to tell them that they were glad that Austin died. That is trashy, that is ghetto, that is disgusting, and that is what we are tired of. There are plenty of black people telling you that you're wrong for this, but you don't want to listen to them because you want to keep going with the racist narrative. I'm a white person, and I'm telling you, we are tired of this. Oh, and let's not forget the fact that they're peeing on Austin Metcalf's grave. You guys sit here and cry racism because Karmelo Anthony's life is ruined by being convicted for 35 years in prison. Austin Metcalf's life is ended, over. He has zero chance to live anymore because of Karmelo Anthony's actions. You know what? This is about racism. It's about the fact that this community is racist against white people. And they had to find a way to make the white person, the white victim, the problem. Because God forbid you take accountability for your culture and your actions.
See that?
Was it racism that got Karmelo Anthony convicted of murder, or was it the racism that got Karmelo?
See that?
Look at me.
Let's see what we about to go at right quick. Here we go.
Try Mirafast for fast constipation relief that's gentle like this, not like this.
Before Ashenary, wearing warm weather clothes like this was impossible. I would buy something, it wouldn't fit, and
Last hour, a jury has been chosen to decide the closely watched murder trial of Karmelo Anthony.
More than 500 people were on the list of potential jurors, but the jury will not include anyone who is Black, despite this case being racially charged. Fox 4's Alex Boyer joining us now. Alex.
Hey guys, good evening. That's right. And I can tell you that a court spokesperson confirmed that there are indeed no Black jurors on this panel. And I can tell you that before this jury panel was seated, the defense objected to 3 Black women being struck by the prosecution. Now, the prosecution contended that it was due to the fact that the women were educators, noting that this incident happened at a school function with young students. The defense then pointed out that those were three of those were 100% of the available Black jurors in what's called the strike zone, adding that the state struck all 3. The judge went out and reviewed their questionnaires and came back and said that the defense's challenge to the 3 jurors being dismissed was denied. The judge said the court found that the state had non-racial means to strike the jurors. Now, background: Karmelo Anthony, 17 at the time, is accused of fatally stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf last year.
Welcome to the Harmony Channel. I'm Jason Whitlock. Obviously, you understand that report. The Karmelo Anthony trial today started in day 4. Yesterday, that report 3, they seated a jury, and I gotta say, I'm overjoyed. And I know people will be upset with me, but I'm overjoyed there are no Black people on this jury. Overjoyed. I don't want anybody on this jury that's sitting there thinking about, I got to do the Black thing, or I hear the facts different because I'm Black. We don't need a Black perspective on this murder trial. We need a justice perspective on this murder trial. And Black people seem to struggle, American Black people seem to struggle to take the racial lens off of how they see things. And do white people have the same struggle? Yes, but it's more pronounced with Black people. Sorry if that upsets you. Sorry if that offends you. But it's true. I think we have a much better shot at getting some justice here with an all-white or a non-Black participant on this jury. Those are uncomfortable truths, but it's a fact. It's the way that I feel. I think it's 100% accurate. Shamika Michelle's going to join me in this conversation because there's a few other things to talk about that transpired today and about this trial. Shamika, I'm overjoyed that no Black people are on this jury. How do you feel?
When you said, do white people struggle with the same thing? Probably. I would think, yeah, they probably do, but by and large, they aren't dumb enough to actually say it out loud. when I was reading some of the answers that some of the jurors gave, such as it would be hard for me to convict a brother, you definitely didn't want to be chosen. I have sat on a jury before. Those aren't the type of answers that you give if you really want to be considered. So the fact that they actually went in there and let their biases be known just says either you have low IQ or you really just didn't want to be a part. And so you said what you knew would get you tossed out, because no juror, no prosecutor or defense or prosecutor would accept that as an answer. So it just, to me, I'm thinking, what are they thinking that they even went in there and said things like that? It's crazy.
I think, and I'm going to give them grace, the benefit of the doubt, I'm going to take their side. I think they wanted nothing to do with being on this jury. I don't think they wanted anything to do with the pressure to have to make a racial decision. A 17-year-old boy was murdered, and all of this self-defense deal, it makes no sense to anybody. And I think that their Black people were wise enough, some of them wise enough in this case, to be like, man, I don't want to be on this jury. How can I get out? Well, I'll tell them I'm biased. And I'll be out from underneath this. There'll be no pressure. I won't have to give up my time. And I'll leave this justice to white people, which I think is appropriate. I really do. I don't want anybody in that jury pool thinking about the racial dynamics. And look, there may be some woke white leftists on there that will be thinking that, hey, we can't hold this Black kid to a standard. He couldn't help it because of all the history of slavery and Jim Crow and blah, all the things he never experienced. He got emotional and accidentally stabbed this white boy and killed him. I don't want any of that thinking anywhere around. And look, I'm telling you, some of the white people may be so woke and so brainwashed they may think that way. I hope not. This case should be, the jury should be out like 3 minutes. Like, hey, judge, we don't need to go anywhere. We don't need to deliberate. This guy killed this guy. I'm hoping that's the way it goes down. But I want to play you this clip from, I think her name's Queen Sheba or whatever. She put out a video. She's there on the spot. She put out a video talking about what people were saying to the questions. Let's play Satna.
All right, everybody, welcome. This is day 2 of the Karmelo Anthony trial. If you can't see, we are live at the Collin County Courthouse right behind me. So they have gotten the jury selections underway. And let me tell you what's happening right here in real time. The jurors are pushing back. There were quite a few jurors that said they're not comfortable. This is a kid. They don't feel comfortable giving him life. They don't feel comfortable sending him to prison for 5 years. You had juror number 142 says, I am not comfortable giving or sending a brother to prison. You had white women that are saying, this is a child. He needs to learn. He made a horrible mistake, but sending him to prison for the rest of his life will not allow him to learn. You had white men saying, I can't do it. Even if you selected me, I'm not going to issue him a punishment. So the prosecution took the floor first. Both sides get 1 hour and 45 minutes. And so far, I'm going to tell you, it's not looking good. Many of the people, I don't know if they're just trying to get out of jury duty or what, but they're saying I don't want to do it. He's a kid. How old is he? So just stay tuned. I'll be back to give you more updates.
Look, I don't know what this woman's motives are, since there's some disagreement of what she's trying to convey, but she said it's not looking good, and people are coming up with reasons about why they shouldn't be on the jury pool, what they can and cannot do, and it's white and Black people. I hear her as saying, like, hey man, there's crazy people saying crazy things in this jury selection, and hey, this won't be good for justice. That I hear her as kind of seeing things the way that I do, that there's concern that Karmelo Anthony may get away with this. Other people hear her as saying, like, she's concerned, she wants Karmelo Anthony to get off. But I'm thrilled that there were Black and white people that wanted nothing to do with this jury, nothing to do with this case, and they're tapping out by saying things that would get them eliminated. And I hope that the people that were seated for this jury are there for justice. I'm optimistic that they've. I think this is actually a good sign. How do you read it?
I hope they are there for justice. I hope that they are going in with the intentions of just looking at the case, looking at the evidence, and making a fair assessment. But because it is so popular, it is racially charged, I'm not confident if I believe every last one of them chosen will actually see this fairly on either side. I do agree with you, though, that a lot of people just didn't want anything to do with it. It's scary being on a jury. The jury that I served on was for, it was assault, it was armed robbery. They actually beat the man to within a few inches of his life. And I will say the people sitting in there notice you after it's gone. I ran into one of the people in Walmart and he said, "Hey, you sat on the jury." Thankfully for us, we found him not guilty, but it is a scary thing. So I do think that people are saying, I don't want anything to do with it because they understand whether they are Black or white. There are a lot of people who are going to come after them once this is over if they don't get the outcome that they want. And that's on either, if you find him guilty, there are going to be Black people or people in general pissed off and mad and want revenge. If you say he's not guilty, there's going to be white people pissed off. They may not want revenge, but they're going to be pissed off. And we've seen so many cases like this that I can understand why people would just not want to be part of it. But for the people that are so mad already, thinking this is some type of conspiracy, that there are no Black people on the jury, you have to then question the jurors themselves, like, why did you say the things that you said? I think it's sad that you're happy that no Black people are on the jury. It says to me that we don't have confidence in Black people being able to make fair decisions and not having this skin race or this skin worship or this loyalty to the culture that they can't go in there and make a fair decision. It's actually sad.
But it is reality. I don't have any confidence. And I want to be crystal clear here. The other thing, because people, he's not being judged by a jury of his peers.
Talk to moms and dads. They're fearful that their children are being indoctrinated in the public school system.
Well, hold. Walk me through. They made a decision to. And I want to pause right there for a second when he said about the jury of his peers. Let's be clear on one thing. This man grew up in Frisco, Texas, in a nice home. Before they bought the other home, he already was staying in a nice home. His mom and them bought him a Lexus for one of his birthdays, and this was before the case. So that means he had a Lexus before he was 18. So let's not make it like these people were broke. Old fast by the guy who said earlier in the video, he was like, if a kid like this is being affected by that Black culture that's coming up not in the hood, coming up in an actual nice neighborhood, y'all culture screwed. We seen that with several, we see it all the time. I made a video, a 3-part series when the Ja Morant situation was going on a couple years ago, of how dangerous the Black culture is to Black men, even if they come from a 2-parent productive household. But again, when you talk about this guy and they talking about, he can have a jury of his peers, that's not how American justice works. Like, when have American justice ever worked the way you get a jury of all Black people if you're Black, all Asian people if you're Asian? That's not how American justice works. But again, when you're dealing with people like, and I've said already, and I explained why, if you just come in here, you have to go back and look at the beginning. Most Black people have very, very low IQs, and that's how they think. But just going back to the original topic, what I'm saying about a jury of his peers, he grew up in a nice area. So in the area where he grew up at, it's majority white people Asian and other groups of people is not majority black people because he didn't grow up in the hood. He grew up in the upper class area. So he was having a jury of his peers, but it wasn't all white people. It was mixed. It was Arab people. It was Asian people, but it wasn't all white. Of course, they didn't have no black because the black people, as for mentioned, as they said in the video, they were saying all kind of dumb stuff. And I'm gonna play a video about some of the things that they were saying after this, but let's continue.
Move out to Frisco, Texas, and that suburb and that predominantly white area. They wanted to be judged by black people. There's some areas in Dallas they could have moved to, and they damn sure have some black jurors. But you decided to move out to Frisco amongst all them white people and all them non-black people. Those are your peers. That's a decision you made. And so that's what cracks me up or angers me when black people move out to an all-white community, and the next thing is there's not enough black people out here. Well, you knew that when you moved.
That's why you moved.
A jury of predominated by black people move to one of those zip codes or one of those areas, one of those counties where you're going to definitely have some black people on the jury. You decided your peers were what's out there in Frisco, and that's who's going to decide this case. It's a predominantly white area. It's a white young man that was killed. I think this is certainly a jury of Austin Metcalf's peers, and I'm more concerned about him than I am for Karmelo Anthony. And I know that everybody's innocent until proven guilty. But damn it, only one of these kids had a knife. And I've been a kid, and I've been at track meets, and I've had disputes, and there is I'm just keeping it real. I've seen enough fatigue videos to and this is a thing that people are reluctant to discuss. But this is white people fight different than black people. That's a fact. You can see white people in fights, and they'll I knocked him down, and it looks like he's not going to recover. It looks like I've won the fight on a TKO. Where black people, it's not a T. No, we're going to stomp you out. I beat you up. You're knocked out. And now me and some other guys are going to stomp you out even further. I've seen the videos. I'm like, that ain't how I grew up fighting. That's not how. We didn't try to kill the other person. We didn't try to live out some gangster
Video
movie.
game. Yeah.
Or what we saw on The Wire, or what we saw in some gangster movie. It's like, no, we wanted to win the fight. We wanted the other person to recover because we didn't want to get in that kind of trouble. We didn't want that kind of smoke. And all these videos I see, it's like, hey, why isn't someone stopping? And why aren't people trying to get them to stop until after they totally destroyed somebody? And so I only one of those kids had a knife. And you know, I hate to judge someone before hearing all the evidence, but that was the other thing. Did you read Sarah Fields' whole report? Like the line of questioning from the defense attorneys to the jury, which she pointed out how inappropriate it was, but it just doesn't sound like they have much of a defense other than, hey, he had a right to carry a knife as long as the blade was only this long, and it just. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around self-defense as an argument here. This is a one-sided case. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not with the self-defense simply because unless your life, in my opinion, unless your life is on.
Before she explains self-defense, let's just go ahead on and be honest about it. Nowhere in the United States of America, I don't know about other countries, but nowhere in the United States of America where you can enter in someone else's space, and I'm not necessarily talking about their car or home, but just go into their personal space. Like, say, for y'all walking in the mall, you approach them, and I'm speaking from a legal perspective. You approach them on camera. They punch you in your mouth. It doesn't matter what they do, and you didn't kill them. You automatically can't use a self-defense case because you went in their area. You created this. Right? So you can't claim self-defense. It was a manslaughter case. But let's continue.
On the line, What are you defending? How is it self-defense? Maybe it's self-defense if you say, okay, well, he hit me, I should be able to hit him back. But when you go as far as murder, it would seem that your life should have been on the line in order for you to then try to murder them first. So this whole self-defense thing to me is foolish. I suspect the defense attorneys, of course, they want to check. I suspect there's going to be a lot of self-defense that will not add up. There's going to be a lot of he's young. There's going to even be some, maybe he's Black and he felt, he was surrounded by white people and he was afraid. I just think that their defense is going to fall flat because they don't have much. Again, if his life was on the line, I would be the first person to say, well, he thought he was about to die, and so he had to do what he had to do. But just because somebody's talking trash to you, just because somebody is even, saying, I'm going to make you move, does not mean that your life was in jeopardy. And when you say about the jury of his peers, you're absolutely right. And it's possible that the Black people, as you said, didn't want anything to do with this case because they know that it's ghetto. When I look at Dominique Alexander and the fact that he tried to physically attack me in 2020, that was the wrong representative for them to even have for the family. That man is ghetto trash. And so there are going to be people who have moved out to Frisco that says, I don't want anything to do with this ghetto case because that's exactly the way it's being presented. That's how the people who are representing the family are presenting themselves, and nobody wants to deal with that. They moved away so they didn't have to.
The other thing that Sarah Fields indicated, Sarah Fields is a popular social media influencer reporter. The other thing she pointed out was that in the jury selection process, they were already doing things trying to portray this Karmelo Anthony, who's 19, as childlike, as like, wow, I mean, this is really like a 14-year-old boy, and this little small. And look, the defense needs to put on whatever defense they can. It's their job. Everybody deserves a defense. I don't want to demonize him, but there's such grasping at straws. She indicated that like they had him in an oversized suit so that he would look more childlike. That there was some kind of line of questioning. They had him do something. He called him Mello by his nickname, and there was some line of questioning that made the jury laugh and was done to just. I can't remember the exact question, but it was done to make him seem childlike. And so
he told him to put his hands in his ears as if what he was getting ready to say, Karmelo was too young to hear it.
Yes. That all of that's to me going to fall flat. It just speaks to how desperate they are. But maybe they're hoping, a wing and a prayer, that there'll be some liberal person on there that will be like, I mean, this is basically a retarded little Black child that, he may be 19, but he really, these Black kids, he's really got the mind of a 12-year-old. That seems to be their defense.
It's Texas 3-piece feast starting at $4.49. We know your effort runs deep, just like our flavor.
The indication, the direction they're going to go, and I hope it falls flat because he killed another child and for no reason at a track meet.
And he knew exactly what he was doing, even at his age. I'm sorry, we've already discussed that I shot at someone when I was 18, held the gun to their head and pulled the trigger. He knew exactly what he was doing when he pulled that knife out. I don't believe he was that afraid for his life. And he's old enough to know the consequences and the responsibility that comes with that. Even after my actions, and thankfully the gun jammed, she didn't die, she didn't go to the police. Even after that, I knew exactly what I had done at 18. I knew the consequences. I was scared. The police may be coming. What is my mother going to say? I knew the consequences. So you will never get me to believe that unless this young man had an IEP in school or he had already been deemed retarded, that he didn't know what he was doing. I think he actually went into that tent. He already had his knife. He already knew he was going to stand up for himself in whatever type of way. And he knew exactly what the consequences were. I'm sorry. At 17, at 18, you already know. You're not 6 years old thinking, well, maybe they'll pop up after I stab them. And like the cartoons, we'll just get another chance. You don't think that way at 17.
You'd be surprised.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow on Harmony. All right, welcome to the Harmony Channel. I'm Jason Whitlock, your host. Thank you for joining me. We're going to continue the conversation about the Karmelo Anthony trial, which is speeding right along. Defense witnesses started being called on Saturday. I'm sure that continued today. On Monday, we could be sending this thing to a jury by the end of the day, by tomorrow, and we could have a verdict as early as tomorrow, in my view, or maybe Wednesday, or who knows, this week for sure. Based on what I've heard so far, it's going to be a guilty verdict. I'm not even sure. The jury may say, hey, we don't need to retire to private quarters. We're ready to vote guilty. This guy is toast. The other thing I don't think there's going to be riots. And I know me and Owen Schroer talked about this on Friday. He had a different take, but this case seems so cut and dry. And Brianna Morello reached out to me over the weekend and was like, hey, she's been on the scene covering it, particularly this stuff outside of the courthouse. And like some of the conflict and everything is over-exaggerated over social media, and it's not a clear representation of what's actually happening at the scene. And so I wanted to bring Brianna onto the show. She's in Frisco, Texas, covering the case. Brianna, welcome to the show. Appreciate you coming on. Brianna, your thoughts on how quickly this case is moving and what's the atmosphere like at the courthouse and around the courthouse?
If you're a tool person looking for high quality, affordable tools, we know where.
And around the courthouse.
Well, it's pretty calm. There's a group of people here, though, probably I'd say about a little over 24 who are here right now outside of the courthouse in the parking lot. And these individuals seem to be very pro Karmelo Anthony. They've got signs everywhere, specifically, though, towards the entrance as you're pulling into the courthouse and just showing their support, saying, we love Karmelo, hands off. Those are the signs that they have up at the front right now. And then you have a group of people who are closer to the actual courthouse as well who have gathered there. Again, they're not very aggressive. They're very calm. They're not coming up to me. I don't see them going to other reporters. They seem to be very calm as a whole so far. But in the courthouse, like you just described, Jason, it's been going pretty quickly. And I was actually quite surprised. It took the prosecutor about 2.5 days to go through testimony. And then, as you also said, the defense started having their witnesses hit the stand on Saturday. Now, the judge instructing both sides, hey, we're going to work through the weekend. So specifically just on Saturday, so be ready to work. And that's not something that's out of the norm here. I've worked with the prosecution before on a personal case as well. And they saw me on a Saturday as well. And they all told me, no, we work Saturday sometimes. So this is something that is common here. But what we've seen so far from the defense, the witnesses they've put on the stand, I mean, it's a no-brainer. If you're paying attention to this case and you're actually watching what's happening in that courthouse, you know there won't be any riots going on afterwards. Maybe you've got a small group of people who are just not paying attention, and they just had this in their mind from the day one, and they were going to defend this kid regardless of what the facts were. But the people who are hitting the stand to testify, to go on the record, they're minors, so you're not going to know their names, but we can tell you what their race is. The bulk of them, it's been very split, obviously white and black people here testifying, but black people, black teenagers are testifying in favor of Austin, saying that Austin wasn't provoking the situation. In fact, they then pointed over at Karmelo. One individual took a stand on Saturday and said it was murder. Another one said that it was lethal force used against non-lethal force. So they put that out there. They also described the push that everyone says started the stabbing as something that was either in between, kind of like a light push and a heavy push. It was in between. One witness was actually sitting next to Karmelo and told the jury that he didn't get pushed that hard because I didn't even get pushed. We were right next to each other. So he detailed that for the jury. The jury is hearing a lot right now, but they're not really hearing anything that validates self-defense. We just heard from a police officer who was put on the stand, a Frisco police officer today, and this officer thought it was strange when asked whether or not a weapon was being brought to a game like this, and the officer openly said, I mean, it's not something that we've pretty much heard of. It's not the exact quote, but pretty much shot down the defense attorney. That's what the defense attorney said. All right, we're going to take this one off the stand. I mean, they're literally putting people on the stand that aren't advocating for Karmelo Anthony. It's quite weird how it's happening. Even one witness that was put on the stand on Saturday was the last witness to go on the stand on Saturday for the defense, echoing the same thing. Carmelo Anthony was in the wrong, and Carmelo Anthony was the one who had provoked Austin Metcalf. Now, I'll spare you of the provocative word that was used, but on Saturday, when we heard from one of the witnesses that was present, that was there, that heard the interaction, this individual said that Carmelo Anthony was provoking the group and even said, y'all a bunch of, and then said the P word there. So it's quite clear. He's saying that he had to defend himself, but we haven't yet seen any signs of self-defense. Now, before I send this back to you, I also want to talk about the medical examiner, because the medical examiner destroyed the defense. The defense is trying to claim that there's a possibility that Austin Metcalf maybe had fallen into the knife and he had pushed himself to the knife. But keep in mind, you listen to the medical examiner completely debunked that. But this stab wound was so bad that it went through the center bone and also penetrated both sides of his wall, his heart wall. So there was a massive amount of force used to penetrate that knife and plunge it into Austin Metcalf's chest. It wasn't self-inflicted. This was something that was forced into his chest. And so, it was something that it was disgusting. But Carmelo Anthony, when he was handed over to the defense side, the image of the autopsy of Austin Metcalf's heart being penetrated on both sides of the wall, Carmelo looked the other way. He didn't want to see it. And another member of the jury, a female member of the jury, covered her mouth when she saw that image as well. So it's not looking well for him. I don't think this is going to take long, unless there's maybe a white liberal woman who's on the jury today who maybe possibly feels a little bad. I don't think it's gonna go in Carmelo Anthony's favor. And also keep in mind, there's a lie out there that there's no black jurors. Obviously, there are no black jurors, but what they always leave out is the fact that there's 5 minorities on that jury. We have 3 Asians. We have a Muslim woman who's wearing a hijab. We also have a Hispanic man on that jury. So it's not an all-white jury. But the individuals, the Black Americans who were interviewed to possibly be on this jury, they admitted they cannot be impartial. So once they said that, it was game over for them. Also, in this county, we have a 12% Black population. So there wasn't going to be a big pool of Black Americans to pull from for this jury.
Introducing the Spectracide Wasp, Hornet, and Yellow Jacket trap. With a lure that's impossible.
Population. So there wasn't going to be a big pool of Black Americans to pull from for this jury.
The other thing you described to me over the weekend, at least in your experience, is even outside the courthouse, look, there are some agitators, but there are also just some Black people there that are on Carmelo Anthony's side that are actually polite and non-aggressive. Is that accurate?
Shooting video beforehand, and not a single one of them came up to me. They're walking past me. They're not giving me mean stares. They're not doing anything aggressively. My coverage so far has gotten millions of views, so I'm sure some of them might be familiar if they have access to what I've been covering and the angle I've been covering at, and they have not yet approached me. So not everyone here is aggressive. Obviously, we saw some that were aggressive. Savannah Hernandez interviewed a woman who was trying to just say that she's going to ride and die with Carmelo because he's a Black kid. But that woman did have a plastic wine bottle in her hand, so I don't think she was sober when she gave that interview. And the other one who said that he was going to kill all crackers, or we should kill all crackers. I don't remember the exact quote for that one, but it was something with kill crackers. that individual is a convicted sex offender. So we're not dealing with the best people when it comes to the ones who are being caught on camera. But not everyone so far is very aggressive. And I honestly think, Jason, to be fair, that they're even really paying attention to what's happening in that courthouse. When I was here on Saturday, it was kind of like, I got like party vibes. They were all hanging out, passing around takeout food, eating out of paper plates under a tent and on the table, just kind of hanging out. It wasn't aggressive at all.
Yeah, I think the guy you're referring to said the only good cracker is a dead cracker. And I think wasn't that supposed to be Jacob Blake's dad or whatever? Someone shipped in from out of town. That again, that I see, and obviously I'm away from it. There's probably 2 or 3 paid agitators, and then there are people that just don't have anything better to do, so they're just kind of hanging out where cameras are, and we're putting them on camera and creating the impression that there's this great mass of people that are on Karmelo Anthony's side. And I just don't I think most people are indifferent, and most people are just wise enough. A knife at a track meet and you stab someone over a push, it just doesn't make sense to many people. And so, yeah, you can get on social media and say all kinds of stupid things and get engagement from saying that. But I think the overwhelming majority of people, whether black or white, understand like this is an open shut case that makes me question the sanity of the defense team and Karmelo Anthony's parents. Take a plea deal and don't put yourself, the community,
and again, everybody is offered a plea. I don't care if you're a multi-murder, they offer you a plea, even if it's something crazy, if you're a multi-murder. But in his case, 17-year-old kid, let's do this quiet. Let's just do a plea deal. He would have got manslaughter. Manslaughter in Texas is 2 to 20. He was a kid, never been in trouble. He wouldn't have gotten over 10 years. But what the parents did, we're going to talk about in part 3 Wednesday, is they sold him out. And they realized that we're not going to play and take a plea, because a plea can be dangerous too. Because, see, the thing about a plea is you can't appeal of the plea, number one. And number two, if they take a plea from 2 to 20, they don't know how much you're going to get. Let's go ahead on and ride this out. So not only we can use it to get money, like I say, I'm gonna uncover on why I'm saying that in part 3 Wednesday, but let's drag this out, make this about race, and we're gonna get an acquittal, because the jury and everybody, they gonna lean toward what the world is saying and the blacks, and we are going to get a not guilty self-defense verdict, which is not what happened, because that's not what happened. But let's continue.
Now you run the risk, generally speaking, when states have to go to court, they ask for longer sentences.
Absolutely.
As opposed to if you took a plea agreement.
Absolutely, because the state got to spend more money.
Clear here too. I personally have worked with this prosecution team. They're actually going to be handling a case that I'm involved in when a man stepped into my stairwell of my apartment complex and I had to pull my firearm. These are advocates for self-defense. They were very grateful that I was carrying that day, because when they saw the footage, this is exactly when you pull a firearm. So they are people who are appreciative of self-defense. So when we're in there, they truly believe, and it's not because they have to do this, they truly believe that Karmelo Anthony did not have to defend himself in that situation. But that's the point here, right? I know in my case, they said that they weren't even going to give the guy a plea deal. They weren't even going to make an offer. They were going to take this to trial. So it's possible that they might have done the same thing for Karmelo as well. He might have not been offered one. There's not been a single person I've seen hit that stand so far that's been in favor of Karmelo Anthony. It's all been negative. And as a defense attorney, I honestly don't even know how they beat this. For me, it looks like they didn't interview a lot of their own witnesses prior to putting them on the stand. But it could be that they're making room for an appeal for Karmelo. It could be that we're to say, hey, listen, it was an inadequate defense team that he had with him, and so he needs another trial. That could possibly be it. Now, I saw a lot of people, pro-Karmelo people who aren't here in this courthouse today, going on social media. And unfortunately, they're not very experienced with criminal trials. I've covered several of them. So when there was a moment when the state, the prosecutors decided to rest their case and had no more witnesses coming forward, the defense attorneys stood up and said, hey, listen, let's just send it to the verdict. Let's send it right to the jury. Let's hear from them right now. Because they didn't make their case. The judge stepped in and said, no, be ready to go. That's normal because that leaves a little bit of a ground for an appeal so that if Karmelo Anthony says, my lawyers are really bad, he could point to that part in the transcript that they weren't ready to put witnesses on the stand. So it doesn't mean that they really weren't ready, or it doesn't mean that the prosecution didn't really make its case. It's just making a little bit of kind of a space the defense could possibly help challenge whatever conviction may possibly happen here. So just keep it in the back of your mind. I know a lot of people thought that it meant that the prosecution didn't make their case, but the prosecution, I'd say, has buried Karmelo Anthony and his defense team. And I really don't even understand how they could even defend those actions that were taking place. Again, their body cam video of Karmelo Anthony taking credit for being the one to stab Austin Metcalf. He, in the video, when the police officer was saying, I have the alleged suspect in the car, said, I'm not alleged, I did it. So that's all clear. And there's a lot of people saying that he was crying, who are now making the defense team as a witness. But here's the interesting factor in all of this. When one of the police officers who made that call and called him the alleged suspect said, hey, did you see any tears coming from Carmelo's face? He said he couldn't see anything, but also said that maybe he just didn't have the visibility to see it, but he heard his voice breaking up a little bit. So Karmelo Anthony's trying to make, or his team is trying to make it sound like he was somehow emotional after the stabbing, but it doesn't seem to be that way.
Listening to your explanation, let's say they're trying to set up grounds for an appeal. Is that based on the expectation of like, okay, Karmelo, you'll go to jail for a little bit. We'll file an appeal. If we're granted the appeal, we'll ask for bond all over again. And hopefully we can find the judge or the right judge that will give us bond. And you'll get to be free while we do the appeal. Maybe that's their strategy.
The fact that he was free before all of this is pretty absurd, because I mean it's pretty clear what happened here. This is somebody who's violent and shouldn't have been able to even attend his graduation. I mean, he didn't miss a lot of the events that sadly Austin Metcalf had to miss because he was killed in all of this. But I mean, it's quite clear that this is somebody who's a danger to society. And even if he's claiming self-defense, there wasn't really grounds for an argument in the first place in all of this. So I thought it was quite strange that he was able to be released, but they weren't holding him prior to his trial. So, I mean, maybe he'll get wealthy and that could possibly happen again. But after you listen to all of the information that's been put out there and been, set on the record, I don't see him making his way out of this courthouse without being placed in handcuffs for the rest of his life. And a lot of people are upset that he's not eligible for the death penalty. I want to kind of just tell your audience why. In 2005, the Supreme Court ruled that it was unconstitutional to allow a minor to be sentenced to death, so someone under the age of 18. They deemed that it violated their Eighth Amendment rights, and that's the reason why Karmelo Anthony is not eligible for the death penalty in this case.
I've been 5'6" since high school. It took me 3 decades to find jeans that don't swallow my shoes.
Brianna, I appreciate you making the time for us today. Awesome job. Thank you so much. All right, that's Brianna. That's Brianna Morello. That's the latest on the Austin Metcalf, Karmelo Anthony trial. If anybody's, this should be very anticlimactic. If that jury doesn't come back with a verdict, this case rests, and an hour later, we find out he's guilty and we can all move on. They slap some cuffs on him, take it away. It does. There is a part of the conspiracy part of me that thinks they've done this trial and the incompetent defense so they can file an appeal and then get him out on bond while the case gets appealed. I guess that may be the strategy. They're just like running out the clock and playing four corners offense. But I find it very unlikely, based on what we heard in court, that anybody would give this kid bond after what we've heard in court so far. So anyway, that's the update on Karmelo Anthony. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow on Harley.
And I'm gonna play this last minute video, probably about 2 or 3 minutes, and we're gonna bring it to a close. I'll see you guys Wednesday for the part the next. I'll see you guys Wednesday for part 3 of this series. and I'll see you tomorrow. Well, you won't see my face. I do a voiceover for my BodyCam series. So I'll have that released tomorrow. And
some of the black people that got struck because one of the guys said, I don't know if I can put a brother in jail. That's what my nigga lied.
Well, I ain't saying lie, but I get he's
lied to these people.
And it's stuff like this is the reason why a lot of races do not trust black people. And let me explain to you guys what I mean by that. You can probably see from the video, you guys, we have a group of podcasters, and they're saying that they needed more black jurors on this case so Karmelo Anthony could be free. One of them mentioned saying that one of their friends or a black person that they know said that they couldn't be on the juror because they didn't want to convict a young black man for murder. And his response to that was saying, nigga just lied. And see, this is why I do what I do and I say what I say, because if I don't, then who will? We have a black person saying that I don't want to convict a young black man because I know he's guilty. I know from the depths of my heart he's guilty. But you're saying as another black man, we have to get back at white people, so lie. There's a growing narrative that the reason why Karmelo Anthony was put in jail is because his jury was all white. One, his jury was not all white. That's the first part. His jury was made up of white people, Muslims, and Indians. And secondly, if the jury was majority black, then he would have been let go, not because he was innocent, because of the color of his skin. It is very obvious that there's a growing majority of African Americans that only make decisions based off of the color of their skin. It doesn't matter if you're right. It doesn't matter if you're wrong. All that matters is if you're black or white. And if you're not black, you're wrong. If you're not black, then you're not on the right side. And then once again, you guys, what does that say to other races? Like, of course, black people are always going to be a part of jury duty. But what if other races see that a lot of other black people make decisions not based off of sound and proper critical thinking skills, but based off of race? They won't trust us. I keep on trying to tell people, it does not matter what you do as an individual. It matters what the group of individuals do. That's how reputation works. Black people are not suffering from racism. They're suffering from their own reputation.
Preach it.
Everybody's against us. The Asians are against us. The Mexicans are against us. The white people are against us. Why? We're talking about boycotting Asian businesses. Y'all niggas can't even stop shooting each other in the streets. What exactly are we doing now? We as the black community are making incompetent black trash the vocal point for our entire culture. And now a lot of us are complaining because a lot of races look down on us. It doesn't make sense. This is why taking responsibility and accountability is important. So once again, if you are a normal functioning black person, stand up to trash black culture so we can change for the better. I hope this helps. Some of the black people that got struck because one of the guys said, I don't know if I can put a brother in jail. That's what my nigga.
And we're going to conclude for the day. I thank everybody for coming out. I got too many comments. It's like over 60 comments, man. I can't read them all. But I thank everybody for commenting. I ask that all y'all like, comment, subscribe. I do this on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you're the first time here, go check my link in my bio. Go check the page out. I do live stream Monday, Wednesday, Fridays from everything that's going on in social issues, politics, religion, everything, life. This is a life channel. This is a life coach channel. You know what I'm saying? A pro-truth channel. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do a black a body cam series called Black People, This Is Why. For all of the black people in the world to understand why they see certain situations turn bad with cops and black people, and most times it's the black person's fault. All they had to do was comply, and the officer would have told you slow it down and have a nice day. In some cases, even if you were guilty or quote unquote riding dirty, I've experienced all of that. And again, I'll see y'all in person Wednesday, and y'all hear my voiceover because I play. I do the body cam. I actually do that over. Most of all, I hate that Black ass wasted mess. What? I hate whippity Goldberg lip. Oh, you. I hate cause they black. I hate coffee cause it's black. Yeah, but yeah, man. That's crazy, man. That's hilarious. But yeah, I gotta go get my workout in because I said I was gonna do it afterwards because I knew it was kind of gonna be long. Peace, man. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming out, man. God bless. Have a great rest of your day. I'm out.
I could have been stopped doing this shit. Only reason I do this shit cause the real niggas asked me to. A fake nigga couldn't relate to me. Top gunner, check me out. Only us, check me out. Strap her with a kilo, check me out. Put her on the bus, check me out. Stand up nigga, check me out. Always 100, check me out. You can bring the work back, check me out. If you don't want it, check me out. See mama love me, that's my baby, but papa left me. Yeah, he left me. I put a bitch on timeout if she upset me. That's a fact. Fuck with me, you won't regret me. Still on the mind of every hoe trying to forget me. I get them things across the border. Your man on trial, but you won't go get him a lawyer. You poppin' bottles, you getting fly, but you don't send commissary to niggas that's inside. See, we don't coincide, we don't live by the same rules. And we done got hungry, these lanes became full. Real niggas in my corner, you know that I can't lose.